Tune in Monday through Friday here on Money for Lunch. And check out our website at moneyforlunch.com.
All right, we're back. My next guest, Matt O'Neill. Matt O'Neill, owner of Matt O'Neill Real Estate in Charleston, South Carolina. In 2014, Matt O'Neill closed $53 million in residential real estate in Charleston, South Carolina. And that is just over $1 million in homes sold for every week of the year. That certainly is, yeah, absolutely. His sales rank him in the top 1% of all real estate agents in the world. How would you like to be ranked 1% in the world? Matt O'Neill, welcome to Money for Lunch.
Hey, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
All right, so I'm excited to have you here and get your thoughts on what's happening. Now, I heard that you have a marketing system to sell homes for up to 18% more money than traditional real estate marketing. Let's talk about this. How could you possibly sell a home for 18% more?
Yeah, it's the same question we get asked over and over again after we do it. But when you look at how buyers are finding homes these days, it's the quality of how great a marketing presentation looks online that determines how much demand a buyer is going to have for that home. So I don't know if technology, if a lot of real estate agents just haven't figured out technology yet or not. But if you market a home really, really poorly through your pictures, photography, and different aspects of how you present it online, then buyers just won't be interested in it. And if they're not interested, then they don't show up. So demand's really low. And what we do, conversely, is we spend a lot of money to make sure that these properties look amazing in the marketing. And then that drives demand way up. And just the law of supply and demand, we got a supply of one house and a lot of demand, our price goes way up.
Sure. No, and I think you're right. Presentation is so important. It is one of those make or break strategies. We see it when you go to an upscale restaurant. Look, you can go to Denny's and you can get a Caesar salad for whatever it is, $5 or $6, $7. You can go.
Easy now. I like Denny's.
I like Denny's too. And they still give me free food on my birthday, so I'm a big fan of Denny's. Now you can go and get that exact same salad at a upscale restaurant, and it's a $17 salad, and a lot of it is based on presentation. A lot of it is based on the way that restaurant positioned itself.
Absolutely,
right?
Same lettuce, same dressing, same Parmesan cheese, but you're paying for the white tablecloth and the service. And
That's right.
I couldn't agree with you more.
All right, so let's talk about this. I've had a couple of people here on the show that are in the staging industry. And what's your take? Is staging now a main strategy for selling a home? Are you a believer on properly staging a home?
Yeah, absolutely, huge believer. And it was probably about 7 years ago. I was watching HGTV. I was watching one of those shows where I think the show was actually called Design to Sell.
Yeah.
Where the house hadn't sold for a year, and then this home staging expert came in and painted a few different walls and brought in some knickknacks and took down some clutter. And they put the house back on the market, and miraculously it would sell within a week. And I kind of had a brainstorm of, well, why would I wait 12 months with my home seller's home sitting there in the wrong condition? Why don't we get somebody to come in before we even hit the market and make them look perfect and see if we can sell them faster? And we just started making it a requirement. I pay for a home stager to come and consult with each one of my home sellers before we hit the market. And the National Association of Home Stagers has a statistic on their website that says if you stage a home properly, it will sell for 7% more than a home that hasn't been staged. I don't know if that number is accurate or not, but I can assure you that a home that is staged really poorly just looks ugly and unattractive when the buyer gets there, and a home that's staged properly kind of has a feel where the buyer will say, this just feels like home. This home just feels right, and they don't really know why. but they end up pulling the trigger on it because it was staged well.
Sure. No, absolutely. Again, we're talking about presentation, marketing. You know, you can go into a cluttered home, and it repels you. And it may be clean, but it's cluttered, and you're going, oh, this doesn't look right at all, and it doesn't feel right. I think I agree with you. Staging is so important. It's no different than, you know, if you're out there looking for a job, you walk into a job interview, and you're asking for a 6-7 figure job, or it doesn't even have to be that high, but you're asking for a job, and you're not dressed your best. That's going to be a couple strikes against you. You have to stage yourself well. You have to show up a few minutes early. You have to be groomed. You have to be dressed professionally for that job that you're applying for.
You got to smell good.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, and I've done this several times. I have literally, I am hiring for a manager, and people show up without a tie. Now, I'm old school. I know that this is going to really date me. But I expect people who are asking a job from my company to show up, on time or a few minutes early, dressed for success. And I have sent people home. Hey, you know, if you're not here to play full out and you don't know how to dress for a job, then God bless you. But you know, you need to go someplace else.
Interesting you say that. I just read Peter Thiel's book 0 to 1, and he said that any CEO who comes to him asking for seed money on their new technology company, if they have on a suit and tie, he says, "Get the heck out of here. I don't want to talk to you."
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, because he said the people who wear suits and ties are businessmen, and he's looking for technology experts. So I thought that was pretty funny. Because I look at myself and I've got my suit on, no tie, but and I think, boy, if I ever need to ask for seed money from a tech guru, I'm not going to wear what I'm wearing now.
Well, but you know what? And that's why I said you have to be dressed your best for your industry. And in most techies, you know, how are most techies dressed? They're dressed nice, but they never wear a tie. You don't need that.
T-shirt with a logo on it, some type of a hooded sweatshirt.
Yeah, you know, I call it the Jed Clampett, right? You know, you have your jacket with the T-shirt underneath. Right. You know, and of course, Miami Vice stole that from Jed Clampett, and they made it even a bigger deal. But that's, you know, you got to dress for success in your industry. You got to stage correctly for your industry, whether it's the real estate industry or the restaurant industry or the IT industry or the CEO space. You know, you got to dress the part.
I will say, just circling back to home staging. We work with a lot of home sellers that will give us every excuse in the book as to why they shouldn't make the changes to the home. And usually it's, you may have some plaid wallpaper up, and they say, well, if I spend the money to take this wallpaper down and then paint the walls a certain color, the buyers may not like that color and would paint it anyway when they move in, so I just won't do it because it would be a waste of resources. And I'll tell you that they say, they'll say the same thing about carpet that needs to be replaced or countertops in the kitchen that should be updated to granite. What if I pick the wrong color of granite? But in the end, what we're doing is we're dressing that home up in a great suit and tie. And it may not be the color of the suit and tie that that the new owner is going to keep. But if we keep it in the wrong suit and tie and it just looks awful, they're not even going to write us an offer. So,
absolutely,
home staging. If you're considering putting your house on the market and you think that you could get away with it not looking perfect and still get the highest price possible, you're fooling yourself.
Absolutely. And bottom line is, here's the other thing for those people who are thinking about selling their home and are right now thinking, well, I don't want to put any more money into it because of this excuse or that excuse. Bottom line is your real estate agent and or your staging consultant can tell you what colors the majority of people are going to like. Am I right?
Right. Yeah. Actually, our staging consultant has the 7 most popular colors of the year, and so we're making our decisions based off of what Pottery Barn and Restoration Hardware are putting in their magazine. And so it's very in fashion for today. And again, it's all little things. The home buyer doesn't walk in and say, "Oh my gosh, that's Revere pewter on the wall. That's the in-style color." They walk in and they think, "Oh my gosh, this home is, it's modern, it's updated, it looks like something I would want to live in," because it's in congruence with everything they're seeing in the media as well.
That's right, and I'm glad you threw that in there. The media guys, they see this on TV, on all the hit shows on TV. Mm-hmm. They see it in the commercials. They see it in print magazines, on the internet, on YouTube. People know what's happening. They know what is going on, and they want to go according to current trends. And here's the other thing. Matt, I'd like to get your opinion on. I think that, my experience, and again, I've not sold, 53 million homes, bought or sold $53 million worth of homes, but I have bought a few shares, and I've come to realization that most people live by a myth that they're not supposed to lose money when they sell their home. Now, if you bought your home correctly and there wasn't a dip in the market, the real estate market, and you've been in your home, I think 7+ years, you'll probably walk away with a little bit of profit. Now, if you bought your house and you've only been in it 2 or 3 years, you're probably going to lose some money. What's your take?
Yeah, I agree, and I usually, when we're talking with people about whether they should buy a new home or if they should rent, I usually say if you don't plan to be in this home for at least 5 years, it doesn't make a lot of sense for you to buy, because there's a lot of fees associated and taxes associated with turning around and selling that home. And if you buy it and then want to sell it in the next 2 years, you probably haven't seen enough appreciation to get your money back out of it. And then people move in and they do things. They update the home. They put in new windows. They put in a new HVAC system, and they think they should get that money back out. And if it's just been a couple of years, they're not going to see that return on investment. But real estate, if you look over time, real estate has outperformed the stock market, over the years. So it's a great place to put your money. It's just not a liquid place to put your money.
That's right. It is, and I agree with everything you just said. It is I think, a fairly good place to have some of your money. Now, if you're a one-home buyer kind of family, that's great. If you're not, but in general, most of the successful, wealthy people that I've ever met or read about had a certain percentage in real estate. Real estate is constantly going to go up. It is a constant. Now, will it have dips like we experienced a few years ago? Yes, we will. But in general, like you said, Matt, it's a pretty good place to have your money if you're in it for the long haul.
Yeah, and if it's your primary residence, it makes it even more incentive with all the tax incentives that you get, and not just throwing your money away on rent, but seeing your equity buy down, and it's a good investment in my opinion. But that's my business. I love it. All right,
Matt O'Neill, thank you so much for stopping by. Would love to have you back again and talk some more.
Yeah, absolutely. I enjoyed it.
All righty. Guys, that wraps it up. Great stuff there about real estate and what you can expect to get the most out of your home. It definitely needs proper staging, and you need somebody like Matt O'Neill to take care of you. Remember, guys, you were created to succeed.
Tune in Monday through Friday here on Money for Lunch, and check out our website at moneyforlunch.com.